For a lot of guys, getting lean is so hard for them. In fact, there's a lot of guys out there who have no idea where to start. So think of this video as the simplest way to get lean. The first thing are calories. Now, some people need to gain weight and some people need to lose weight. But if we're talking about getting lean, then we have to focus on a calorie deficit. This is burning more calories than you are consuming in a day. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not the kind of guy to track every calorie, but I have a pretty good idea of how many calories that I'm eating per day. And this is actually quite simple because most of my foods are just swapped out for low calorie alternatives. For example, breads. A lot of people, they don't care what kind of bread that they get, but typically most bread has a high amount of calories. And keep in mind, these calories are not keeping you full. But whenever I go to the grocery store, I try to look for the bread that has the least amount of calories. That's typically around 70 calories per slice. 70 calories per slice, although that's a little bit high, I think it's so worth it, especially in the mornings. But I think in general, if you're gonna start focusing on calories, just really start looking at how many calories you're consuming and try to keep these calories as fulfilling as possible. One way to do that is with protein, which is the next thing that we really have to focus on. Protein is gonna keep you satiated. It's gonna keep you fuller longer. So here are some of my favorite ways to consume protein. Chicken is easily one of the best staples in my opinion. It's super easy to make. It has a good protein to calorie ratio. Ground beef is another essential for me, as well as eggs, fish, and Greek yogurt. I think one of the simplest ways to make sure that you are going to be losing weight is find out what foods are keeping you full. Obviously, preferably something that you enjoy as well. And then just stick to these foods every single day. You don't need to try something new every day. In fact, it makes it a lot easier to make sure you're staying on track if you just eat the same foods every day. And all the foods that I mentioned, these are some of the things that I eat throughout the week. Now, if you want some extra protein, which is something that I always advocate for, you can start looking at protein bars or protein powder. For protein bars, easily David protein. To this day, I still think that this is the best calorie to protein ratio out of anything. And then of course, protein powder as well. Mix this in with the Greek yogurt. Not only does that taste amazing, but you are getting a ton of protein as well. All right, the next thing is cardio. Now, I'm never gonna say that cardio is gonna be what makes you lean, but it is gonna help you be in a calorie deficit. Now, that being said, when you're thinking of all the calories that you consume in a day, it is very important to note that exercise is probably the least amount of calories that you're burning throughout the day. The majority of calories that you're burning comes from you just staying alive. This is what's known as your basic metabolic rate. This is different for everybody. It depends on age, weight, height, and muscle mass is another key factor to that. But nonetheless, if there's something that you can do to burn calories, then why not do it, especially if you're trying to lean out a bit faster. So I love running, but again, that's not essential by any means. At the very minimum, you should be walking. If you're new to this, then set up a goal of 5,000 steps a day, then bump it to 8, then 10. And if you could do even more than that, then all the better. Now again, this is not what's gonna make you lean, but it is what's gonna make you a more healthy person. And at the end of the day, there's no point in being lean if you are unhealthy. We are not trying to become a bodybuilder out here. We just wanna look good and feel good. And cardio is definitely gonna make you feel good. All right, the next thing are gym clothes. Your gym wardrobe can definitely help you get lean. I know what I said. I know how dumb that sounds, but I stand by that. If you have good gym pieces, you are more likely going to be more motivated to always hit the gym. If you look good, you feel good. And that really does apply to fitness as well. So get some good running shorts, get some good gym clothes. In fact, my most recent pickup to my gym wardrobe are these shoes from Noble, the sponsor of today's video. I was able to get my hands on this newest release from Noble, which is this Drive Ripstop shoes. These are hands down the ultimate hybrid workout shoe that's versatile enough for any workout inside the gym or out. I mentioned how important walking is earlier. These shoes are so comfortable to walk in. This has 100% Pebax foam midsole that makes it so comfortable, light, and adaptive. Now, like I said, this is Noble's newest release, and the hype on these things are real. This gives me a secured, locked-in fit that makes it the ultimate athletic shoe. Literally, as soon as you pick them up, you are going to be so surprised how light they are. Like I said, it literally feels like you're wearing a sock, but with great support and tons of cushion. I got mine in this navy color, which looks fantastic, by the way. I think this goes with most of my workout clothes already. So again, not only am I going to be looking good, but no matter what workout I'm hitting, I am going to stay comfortable and really lock in with these shoes. So if you've been looking for a new athletic shoe that's comfortable no matter what workout you're hitting, these are definitely the ones that I recommend. Not only did these recently release, but Noble is having a crazy sale right now. If you spend over $125, you will get $50 off using code DRIVE50. If you're interested, you could actually scan this QR code right here. It's gonna take you directly to Noble, or you could use the first link in the description. All right, the next thing we're gonna focus on is tracking progress. I'll be honest, especially when trying to lose weight, you are probably gonna be one of the last person to notice. Body dysmorphia is a very real thing. We are gonna get in our own heads and we're gonna think that we're not making any progress. This is why it's so important to actually log your progress, because the numbers aren't gonna lie. Now, as much as I do keep track of my weight, just keep in mind, this is not everything. If you're losing a ton of weight in the first few weeks, chances are that's probably just water weight. Or if you think that you're going nowhere because the weight hasn't changed, chances are you're probably gaining muscle while losing fat. If you could take your body measurements, then all the better. But what I like to do is every single week, I take a 360-degree video of my physique and making sure that I'm losing weight, especially on the areas that I notice it most. For me, that's my love handles, definitely my face. And I like to see if I made any more progress in seeing my vascularity or just the definitions of my muscle. Right now, since I am losing weight, the first place that I'm noticing it is in my arms. But keep in mind, we all store fat differently. So really make sure that you're looking at your own progress, especially on the places that you notice it first. All right, the next thing is recovery. Lots of younger guys out there do not think twice about properly recovering. In fact, it's a really important thing to know that your body literally grows during the recovery process. This is why sleeping is so important and listening to your body. Like I mentioned earlier, the calories that you burn, the majority of this is gonna come just to keep you alive. And that also includes during the time that you're sleeping. And I get it, as a younger guy, you have that grind set mentality where that you think that if you're not hitting the gym, that you are not gonna be making progress. That couldn't be further than true. So allow yourself a rest day when needed, and more importantly, get the proper amount of sleep needed. This is exactly why I like to track my sleep so much. I like to make sure that I'm getting the proper amount of sleep and a good quality of sleep as well. If you're interested in the tracker that I use the Whoop. That's gonna be linked in the description as well. The next one is an absolute non-negotiable, and that is warming up. The reason why this is so important is because there is no point in training, eating good, if you're just gonna spend all day hurt because you injured yourself because you don't warm up properly. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. My shoulders are fried, my knees hurt, and it's all because I didn't warm up properly. I did so much exercise when I was younger without warming up, and sure, I didn't notice it right away, but a few years later, I'm only 22 years old, and I really notice it. And I know if I went on the same track, it would have only gotten worse. So no matter what workout I'm doing, whether it's weight training, running, or even just walking, I make sure that I'm getting properly warmed up. All right, going back to diet, one thing that's super important is actually enjoying your food. Now, I actually hate the word diet because a lot of people associate diet with just eating bland foods and really restricting themselves. But restricting themselves really just means that you can't be eating fast food or highly processed foods. First of all, you could fit pretty much any food you want in moderation. But second of all, if dieting just means that you have to eat better quality food, who wouldn't want to do that? Better quality food, not only is it going to give you more energy and make you leaner, you are going to feel way better throughout the day. Why is that such a bad thing? In fact, that should be the #1 priority for every guy. Now, if you're only used to fast food, yeah, it's going to take some getting used to. You're going to have to stop yourself from craving all the fast food in general. But once you get into the rhythm of it, you look forward to eating because you know you're staying on diet. Of course, throughout the day, you're just gonna feel way better. Now, of course, this doesn't mean unseasoned chicken and rice. I told you about the meals that I was eating earlier. I absolutely love these. I look forward to these because they actually taste so good. So just find the foods that you really enjoy, and again, just stick to those. All right, the next non-negotiable is drinking more water. Not only is this gonna keep you full, but obviously drinking water is just another non-negotiable to being a healthy guy. My best advice is setting up a water goal. I try to drink around 100 ounces per day. Again, that keeps me full, keeps me hydrated, it makes me feeling good. And the 10th thing is gonna be actually training. Now, I saved this for last because again, training only makes up a small portion of the calories that you're burning throughout the day, but it is still wildly important, especially for your body composition. If you really wanna look good while losing weight, then yes, training is very important. So I like to stick between a push-pull leg routine. This is the workout split that I've had for years. It's made the most difference, and it actually makes me enjoy training. I like to start off with compound lifts and then move into my more isolation workouts. And when I'm training, I train till failure, and I really focus on getting stronger. Of course, you gotta do it safely, and if you have no idea where to start, I actually offer a workout program that's gonna be linked in the description. Right now, I'm actually down 6 pounds, and I'm going for more. I'm really excited to see how I look when I'm leaner, and I'm really excited to hear about your progress as well. If you need any more advice, you could DM me on Instagram. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video.